My neighbor asked me to drive her to chemotherapy. I said yes without hesitation. When I got sick months later, she told me, "I can't help you. I'm not your family. Don't guilt me." I cried alone in that parking lot. But when she needed a character witness in court, Linda moved into the duplex next to mine 3 years ago. We weren't close, just the occasional wave, small talk about the weather. She kept to herself. I respected that. We were both divorced, both quiet, both just trying to get by. Last summer, she knocked on my door looking 10 years older than the week before. Her hands were shaking. She told me she had breast cancer, stage 3. Chemo started Thursday. Her daughter lived in Colorado. Her ex wouldn't return her calls. "Would you be able to drive me to appointments? If it's too much, just say no. I won't be offended." I said yes immediately. I couldn't imagine going through that alone. Those 6 months became my life. Every Thursday at 8 a.m., I'd pull up to her door. Sometimes she'd already be waiting on the porch, pale and silent. Other times, I'd have to help her down the stairs because she was too weak. The cancer center was 40 minutes away. Round trip with the appointment, it was 4 hours every single week. I kept ginger candy in my glove box, crackers in my purse, plastic bags under the passenger seat because she'd get sick on the drive home. After her 4th treatment, she started crying in the car, just silent tears running down her face. I held her hand at every red light. On bad weeks when she couldn't leave bed, I'd pick up her prescriptions, $73 at CVS every Tuesday. I'd drop them off, crack her door, leave them on the table. Once I brought soup from the deli because she texted me she hadn't eaten in 2 days. Another time I stayed overnight in her living room chair because she had a reaction, and the on-call nurse said someone should watch her. I called her daughter twice when Linda was too weak to hold the phone. I reorganized my work schedule. I turned down weekend plans. I made sure my gas tank was always full on Wednesday nights. 23 appointments total. I never missed one. She never really thanked me. Not warmly. It was always quick. Almost embarrassed. Like she didn't want to owe me anything. She never asked about my life. Never invited me in for coffee. If I ever needed something, a ride somewhere, help carrying groceries, she was always busy. I told myself she was just sick. People handle things differently. Then last December, I got pneumonia. The worst I'd been sick in 20 years. I went to urgent care alone. Drove myself home with a 102 fever. For 3 days, I couldn't get out of bed except to use the bathroom. I couldn't eat. Couldn't think. My chest felt like someone was sitting on it. On day 3, I texted Linda. It took me 15 minutes to type it because my hands were shaking. "Hey, I'm really sick. Could you pick up my prescription from CVS? I don't think I can drive." 2 hours went by, nothing. Then finally, a text. "Sorry, I'm not your family. I can't help. Please don't guilt me." That was it. No hope you feel better. No let me know if you need anything else. Just a wall. I sat in my car in that CVS parking lot after forcing myself to drive there, and I cried harder than I'd cried in years. Not just because I was sick, because I'd spent 6 months giving everything I had, and when I needed 10 minutes of her time, I got nothing. I went home and lay in the dark. Linda never checked on me. Not once. Something broke after that. I stopped helping. Stopped waving. When I saw her in the yard, I just nodded and went inside. I was done being the person who could be counted on when it was so one-sided. Months passed. Her hair grew back. She painted her porch yellow, started wearing makeup again. We didn't speak. Then one night in April, she knocked on my door. She was shaking, crying. Her ex-husband was contesting her father's will, trying to prove she was unstable. She needed a character witness, someone local who knew her. "You're the only person here who knows what I've been through. Please, I need you." I stood there looking at her. I remembered every Thursday morning, every appointment, every time I rearranged my life. And I remembered crying alone in my car, begging for help that never came. I smiled at her. "I'm not your family, Linda. Please don't guilt me." I closed the door. She knocked again. I turned off the lights and sat in the dark, listening to her beg through the door.